Okay. Hi there, I'm Jo Bobbin-Trott, and this is one of the episodes of Stuck and the Amijo Show. I am super thrilled to have for a second turn in the Zoom room with me. It's Judith from Bristol, and it's the minister. Well, you are still a minister, so I can still call you that, can't I?
Yes, yeah.
You never retire. Judith Lee from Bristol, which is where I used to live, and we've already had Judith on the show before, but I'm really thrilled that you've come back, and you're wearing your amazing earrings again. I have earring envy. Look, you've got me wearing bigger earrings too. Look, I've got my bigger earrings on today, just for you. Oh,
Last time I wore my collar, Jo.
I
haven't put my collar on today, but I've got my amazing cross, which I always wear. Would you like me to tell you about that?
Yeah, please do. It's beautiful.
Well, this was a family in the parish, and very sadly, the mother and the father died within 5 days of each other, and they had 3 daughters. And over the period, we spent a lot of time together, one way or another, before, during, and after. And one of the daughters said, "We'd like you to have this cross." Her husband had been working in Ethiopia. It's a Coptic cross. And she said, I never really find the right opportunity to wear it, and we want you to keep it warm for us. So I always wear that, and I keep it warm for her. So.
Oh, that's wonderful. How lovely. You must have, because you're from your parish is French, in Bristol, and you live in Frampton, don't you? But you must have, it must be just kind of a constant connection that you have, because you're not so much in the church now, but you must still be very much part of that community.
Still in the church. Well, nobody's in the church at the moment.
Oh, nobody is, right, yeah.
And in fact, tomorrow I should have been taking a wedding tomorrow, and I mean that's been devastating for wedding couples to have to defer their weddings for a year. And I spoke to the bride to be yesterday, because they're very much in my prayers at the moment. They must be thinking all the time what should have been. But anyway, they're being very philosophical about it, and they said it's given them a bit more time. They were sort of quite pressurized before, really. But I'm still involved, very much involved in the church, really. Not quite as busy as I was before, but don't have quite so much to do with the school as I used to. I was very involved in the school. But anyway.
Yeah, and so tell us, just before we came on, you were telling me what your family are doing. Incredible, what they're up to. Just share with us, Judy.
Yeah, well, it's a slightly unusual situation, Jo. Both of our children are blind, registered blind, and they're both married. But they've both had good careers. Our daughter's works for social services. She's a note taker goes to the children's case conferences and vulnerable adults as well now. Technology has been absolutely brilliant for them. She's got a machine called a Braille and Speak, and gets home and plugs into a computer, and a computer speaks to her, and she can type up all the notes then. Quite fantastic. Wow. Anyway,
amazing.
She's had the virus, unfortunately, but thank goodness she didn't have to go into hospital. She managed to isolate at home and recover at home. But she's back to work now, and she's got 2 boys. The elder one is working on the Nightingale Hospital that's being developed at UWE in Bristol, so that's been quite interesting. He's a carpenter and joiner, and so he's happy. And the younger one is they're struggling to get him to do his schoolwork. He's got GCSEs next year.
Yep.
And, yeah, he seems to need to have her sitting next to him when he's working. And of course, she's supposed to be back to work now, working from home. So our son lives in South Wales, and his wife is quite vulnerable, really, but he's out most days, I think, doing the shopping and doing the errands. So he's very confident out with his cane, his long cane.
Gosh,
Wendy's waiting for a new guide dog, so that's life's a lot easier for her when she's got a dog.
Right. Gosh, incredible. Wow, so they're busy then, aren't they, really? Goodness me. Yeah, it's fantastic. And obviously these Nightingale hospitals are just something else, aren't they? I mean, it's just remarkable how they're just, I saw the interview with the Colonel something or another who was meant to retire.
Wasn't it amazing? What I want to write to him, because it was just amazing what the armed forces have done. The list that he mentioned, Joe, was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, I think we should all write to him, really, because just to have that expediency, if that's the word, and just ability. It's such a, I mean, I'm always proud of our armed forces. One of my interviews is with an ex captain and commander in the Navy who was looking after submarines for 30 years, running submarines. Remarkable, Mike Davis Mark. But I think it just shows you how incredible and just it's so selfless to just say, right, okay, I can't retire now. I mean, he could be sat in his garden in the sun like me, and he's not. He's just throwing his heart and soul into creating something that will just be so much more efficient to deal with this, won't it?
So now you talking about that we've got this time for a pause, haven't we, really?
Yeah.
We've got time, some space in a way. I don't know whether you've got much space in your life, but it's a time to reflect, isn't it? It's a different kind of being at the moment, really. And I found this, Joe, that I thought was amazing. Practice the pause, it's called. When in doubt, pause. When angry, pause. When stressed, pause. And when you pause, pray. And I thought I find that really helpful, really, because all of those emotions we're going through, aren't we? Doubtfulness, anger, stress, and
absolutely, and I think we can see this time as that. We can see it as so many things, can't we? But it's all a choice. It's all very much a choice. And I think that's really important, because we can react, and funny enough, I've just written a chapter for a book about reacting right now. It's important, and part of us does need to react and take action. But like you say, it's also time to stop and say, well, how can I do this differently? What's happening for me? Because one of the purposes of I asked you back on was to talk about kindness to ourselves, because there are a lot of people that I know thinking they're not doing this right, and they're not getting their kids to do enough schoolwork, and I could be working less and nudging them to do their projects more, etc., etc. But actually, we're all just doing what we can. But we do need to stop and be mindful in that moment and just say, well, actually, I'm just going to think, right, okay, how does this feel? What can I do? So no, that was a beautiful. Was that your own words, or was that?
No, that was just something that I found that I knew would be helpful. It's something that I've used once or twice. What if, when I was thinking, Joe, this is a while ago, just wondering what my deepest desire is for. Sometimes we wonder, what's it all about, really, and what gets in the way of us being what God made us to be. And the thing that came to me was my deepest desire is for peace. And the Christian understanding of peace, it's not a cessation of war or anything. Jewish people call it shalom. And it's a fourfold peace. It's a peace with God. So you're at peace with God, at peace with your neighbour, so we're at peace with each other, at peace with the land, so wherever we are, wherever God's placed us at this time, that we feel at peace with that. And perhaps the most difficult thing of all is to be at peace with ourselves, to find that acceptance and that love for ourselves. I mean, it's the commandment, isn't it? Love one another as much as you love yourself. Well, some of us find it very difficult to love ourselves for one reason or another. But and perhaps it's a lifetime's work, really, to learn to love yourself. Because until you do that, you can't really love other people, because you haven't really got that true sense of what love is.
Oh, absolutely. And this is quite incredible you're bringing this up, because I had this conversation 2 days ago with someone who had been in rehab. And he shared with me that the most powerful statement we can tell ourselves, and that is the most practice statement in rehab, is actually, I like myself. Not I love myself, because if people are not used to love and they've had a lack of it, and they don't know what it means, to say I like myself starts that chain of connectivity and endorsement that then hopefully will go on to love. So, absolutely, I think it's really, and I'm sure there are so many people right now thinking, oh, have I done this right? Or if I'd done something different before this happened, or if I'd only done this. But actually, we just have to validate who we are and where we are, and accept the decisions we've made, don't we? I think that's really, and I love that I'm going to post that up in the words, because I think that's really, really just simply reminding us to have peace with all of those things. But it has to start from us, doesn't it? Really. Yeah, well, that's lovely.
So, and the other thing, and the other things that are important to us, for me was peace, and we need, I think for women particularly, we need to have security. I think perhaps it's more important. I know we shouldn't be sexist about these things, because they're both equally applicable. I'm sure men love to have security as well, but I think they need significance often, and I think perhaps we do as well. We need to feel as though we're making good use of the gifts that God's given us. Sometimes it's I heard something interesting at the weekend, that we shouldn't just judge ourselves on the talents that we've been given, but the way that we live our lives. Do we go the extra mile? Are we careful with the details? Are we kind? Those fruits of the Spirit, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, self-control, gentleness, generosity, those sorts of things, which that are given to us in equal measure. That's nothing to do with the gifts that we're given. It's to do with the way that we express them, really. So that's and we just, I think, important, isn't it, to count our blessings? And I think there are, for us anyway. I know you've got lots of blessings, and I certainly feel as though I have. It's not the same for everybody. We say we're travelling the same journey, but we're not really, are we? Some people are having a really, really tough time, one way or another.
Yeah, Yeah, no, they really are. And people that are in difficult domestic situations right now are people that are very much on my mind, I must admit. That because I had a moment a week or so ago when I suddenly thought, goodness me, if this had happened on this, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and just reflecting back on that helped me realize and value exactly where I am now. I'm in a peaceful home with two daughters that I love, and we have a wonderful relationship. I'm not in an environment that I was in that was very unpeaceful and very difficult, very challenging. And so I think there are lots of, like you say, there are blessings. And I think the other thing is that I've seen a lot of people that are in an environment that is rich and simple, that are trying to do a little bit more. I'm trying to do a little bit more right now, because, and you said about the stepping up thing and about the doing that extra mile, because I think, because I can really, and and there are some people that will be finding it very suppressive right now to do anything, to literally do anything, let alone do anything different. And I think if we're maybe considering those and thinking of those, and it sends out energy to those people that could be really struggling and probably cannot wait for the day when the green light flashes up and to say, right, you can go, you can get out of there, and they can breathe again. Because sadly, domestic violence has gone up. It as a police officer, it always happened. I saw it as in bank holidays, especially at Christmas when people are inside a lot. And by Boxing Day, the domestic violence incidents would increase dramatically, because people were tired, had ate too much sugar, drank too much, spent too much time together, and it was like the ignition in the fire of conflict. So very much, I've been spending a lot of prayers and energy and thought to people that are feeling like that right now. So no, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah.
But you're a really good listener, Jo. You're very good at listening, and that is something that is so precious, to have someone who will listen to you. Because when you actually voice the thoughts, instead of them being tapes that buzz around in your head, round and round and round, and just spiral out of control sometimes, if you can just say them, it helps people so much to sort themselves out, doesn't it? To actually hear, and perhaps to have a different thought that comes in, a different way of looking at your situation. Perhaps it's, when we look back, things are never as bad, are they, as we think they're going to be. Yeah.
That's absolutely so true. And I think that's a lovely note to finish on, is that whatever is happening right now, we will look back and hopefully remember some of the good things, even if they are tough. But actually, we're all digging deep in our own little way at the moment, aren't we, to manage whatever we're managing. So yeah, it's been.
If there's time, Jo, I've got a poem to read.
Oh, good. Yeah, wonderful.
Got time?
Yeah, of course.
It's called I Thank You, God, That I Have Lived, and it's by somebody called Elizabeth Craven. And perhaps I'll talk to you a little bit about her at the end. I thank you, God, that I have lived in this great world and known its many joys, the song of birds, the strong, sweet smell of hay, and cooling breezes in the secret dusk, the flaming sunsets at the close of day, hills, and the lovely heather-covered moors, music at night, and the moonlight on the sea, the beat of waves upon the rocky shore, and wild white spray flung high in ecstasy, the faithful eyes of dogs and treasured book, the love of kin and fellowship of friends, and all that makes life dear and beautiful. I thank you too that there has come to me a little sorrow and sometimes defeat, a little heartache, and the loneliness that comes with parting and the words goodbye. Dawn breaking after weary hours of pain, when I discovered that last night's gloom must yield and morning light break through to me again. Because of these and other blessings poured unasked upon my wondering head, because I know that there is yet to come an even richer and more glorious life, and most of all, because your only Son once sacrificed life's loveliness for me, I thank you, God, that I have lived.
Gosh, beautiful.
That was written in the 17th century. You can't believe it, can you? Because it feels very modern, very current, very real at this moment.
It could have been written yesterday.
Yes,
amazing.
Absolutely.
Wow. And who was she? Do you know anything about her? That's incredible.
Well, only that's all that I know. That she would. That was the point, really. I wanted to make that it was quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
But there's a sense, isn't there, that if we can just say it is well with my soul, that's our deepest desire. That's my deepest desire, and all that we can ever hope for, to be able to say it is well with my soul.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think just to think life is for us.
Yeah.
Life happens for us, not to us.
Mm.
And you know, the challenges that we face do require us to feel differently, think differently, but then we can evolve and move on and do something different. Yeah, no, that's beautiful. So can you just give us the name of the author again, Judith? Sorry, I didn't quite catch it.
Elizabeth Craven.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Craven. I mean, if I can send it to you if you'd like me to.
Yeah, thank you. And the title of it again, it's beautiful.
The title, I Thank You, God, That I Have Lived. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I'll send a copy to you.
That would be lovely. Thanks very much. Yeah, and I really enjoyed that. And a lovely thought to finish on as well. So thank you, star of the Amijo Show, for coming on the show again. You know, it'll be the TV connected, calling you up, BBC next. You'll be in demand. You'll be cursing me. Joe, what have you done?
Wish you every blessing, Jo, on all that you're doing, and congratulations on the book. That's going really well, and you're busy still writing more chapters. Yeah,
and two more books coming out. So one called Silver Linings, which maybe that poem needs to go in, because I'm writing some poems for that. But it's all stories of positivity that are happening right now. And then my other book is about women leading, which very much we've touched on throughout our chat now, about women actually taking that extra step to help others, but inspire others, and do something that we know we can do, but we're a little bit scared of. But we need more women leaders, I believe now, and it can't wait. So that's another book that I'm working on as well right now, which will be available next month. So exciting times. Thank you so much, Judith. It's been super again to have you on the show. We'll chat again after I've hit stop. But that was Judith Mary Lee, all the way from Bristol. And my name's Jo Bormanshot, and that was the Amijo Show. Thanks for watching.